Dean from Guru, and today we're doing the Cross Island walk. And what we're doing is actually just dumping off our scooter for a moment, which is probably right there at Wigmore's, their superstore. It's across from Moana Sands. And what we're going to do is going to catch a bus, which is catch it to the airport on the other side of the island before walking across about 500 meters in that direction, which we'll walk back to here and then ride home. The bus, it comes here once an hour, and it's island time, so 2 routes, clockwise, anti-clockwise, which is simple, keeping it simple, but it's island time, so what time they actually say they'll be here is a mystery to us. Oh shit. Getting on the bus. It's about 10 minutes late. Kia ora.
One way.
We are on our way to the track, which the driver knows exactly where we're going. Off the bus at this place here, Pandamis Petrol, near the marina or harbor. And just to note, I forgot to mention that it's $5 one way from the bus where we were, from Wigmore's to Pandamis. And now we're going to walk to the beginning of the trail and we'll catch up with you then. The entry point of the Rarotonga Cross Island track. That was the longest 2.2 kilometers ever walked, and we're about to begin 2.5.
So now we're at this point.
We're going to get to here, eventually to that, and then from here.
Another 4.5 k's.
So all up, it says, locals say it'd take about 4.5 hours. People have done it that we spoke to did it in about 3. Island time or not island time, depending on you. But we're here. And then we're gonna head down to there. And then back on the bike. Let's go. Follow those signs, red markers. Another K1.5, maybe a little bit more to reach your next step along this walk. A quarter of the way up, and the scenery is truly amazing. Houses being built. Eco, looks like it. Heaps of animals. Just this lush rainforest. Is amazing. Across this muddy track, a few mini rapids, you can call them that. Here's our first step through some serious jungle. I'm glad it's marked with nothing. Muzzy City out here. So I'm sure that you're bathed prior to coming here in the mosquito muzzy repellent, especially after it rained for the past 3 days. So it rained for the past couple days in Rarotonga, just in the morning though. But as you can see from the ground on the other parts of the video, that it's muddy, rocky, wet. So if you're planning on doing this hike and you're fond of the white party, don't bring anything new or white, because it'll end up a totally different shade of mud. But as we start to walk up, eventually through the canopy, we see a little bit of sunlight. Just be mindful of spiders, little ones, and caterpillars. But hopefully, I don't know, I haven't seen any snakes. Maybe, I don't know, we haven't seen any yet. No frogs. And no gigantic spiders like we see at home in Australia. Alright, now traversing down towards the creek. It's staked, but it's also full of mud. Downstream, upstream. You! There are no signs, so I don't know where I'm going. Oh, there they are. Staked. Cool. This way. Orange markers, followed by up a ridge 50 meters straight up, using the roots of all these trees. And now we're at the somewhat on the top of the ridge. Why do it dry when you can do it wet? Whoa! Hopefully not that wet. Alright, we hear civilizations. Maybe we're near the top after that tremendous hike. Alright, so we're approaching the needle. Maybe about another 50 meters ahead. Cheers. Thanks, man. Pardon?
This is passing by.
Yeah. There it is through the brush. Near the top. If you're hungry, you can bring your own chicken. That's if you eat meat. I have no clue. on our way back from the trek on the other side of the needle. So basically this is what you're gonna have to walk through on the way back, down the same 50-ish meters at least, and then across these rocks, across this creek, still looking for those. And now we continue our little journey. Somewhere over there. Fuck. So we made it through to the other end. Now we're gonna head to the waterfalls. So, if you're up for an adventure, that was a walk to do, especially after a few days rain, where it was muddy down below and gusterly up top. So now we made it to Wigmore Falls, which is the end of this trek. Take a couple of photos from here. Get yourself sorted. But if you're adventurous, I would suggest doing this walk at least when it's wet and when it's dry at different times of the year. If you're just a weekend warrior hiker that's not necessarily intermediate, I wouldn't suggest it, because there are a few hairy moments when you're going across water, climbing straight up, and it gets a bit slippery. Similar to that waterfall there. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to Guru Ian Carriaga for more of our adventures. So we made it through to the other end. Now we're gonna head to the waterfalls. So, if you're up for an adventure, that was a walk to do, especially after a few days rain, where it was muddy down below and gusterly up top. So now we made it to Wigmore Falls, which is the end of this trek. Take a couple of photos from here. Get yourself sorted. But if you're adventurous, I would suggest doing this walk at least when it's wet and when it's dry at different times of the year. If you're just a weekend warrior hiker that's not necessarily intermediate, I wouldn't suggest it, because there are a few hairy moments when you're going across water, climbing straight up, and it gets a bit slippery. To Wigmore Falls. Hope you had a good time watching that video. Please subscribe to Guru Ian Carriaga for more adventures, yoga, and surfing. Okay, forgot to add at this end of the video that I would suggest doing it from north to south and not backwards, because the other way is treacherous. If you were going to go uphill, there's too much craziness going on there. And make sure that when you get to the top, after seeing the needle, which is 200 meters at the very top, you actually take the far left path on the way back down. Otherwise, you're just going to head to falls in the middle and then get stuck, because there's no way out of that and you have to come back. So We've now made it out to the beach side, walking back to the scooter.